Once again, YouTube, this is Mike with Conquer Roads, and on today's small adventure, I'm going to be replacing or reupholstering this little center door panel insert, this area right here, and giving it a little touch of class with some of this automotive fabric I picked up out of California. So now we will go and show the process of actually removing this piece, this door panel piece, so we can go ahead and reupholster it. So online and in the internet forums, there are a series of different ways that you can attack this. I've seen the kind of brute force method, and I should be more specific here. Most of this is very easy. I'm going to show you in a second. You just pull this off. That's, not a big deal. You've got a bunch of very traditional Phillips head screws. But where the complication on this, and it's not super complicated, but it's not exactly straightforward, are these melted plastic caps. So until you can remove those, you cannot remove that panel to reupholster it in the flavor of your liking. So brute force, I've seen that basically like diagonal cutters, like the backside of a hammer, just ripping this stuff off. I've seen a surgical approach where individuals they'll actually screw into this, drill into it, and somehow that lets it loose. I do not have surgeon's hands. So my method is, in my opinion, the simplest, and I'm going to Dremel those off. So let's go ahead and get the process started. Okay, now I've got this removed, no biggie, and it really does illustrate all of these little tabs that I'm going to have to deal with. This one in the center you don't have to toy with. That's going to go out with this entire piece, but you are going to have to hit all of these. Note that you've got these little tabs that you're going to have to push, but the order of process that we'll do here is we will remove the Phillips heads. Then I will Dremel out these items, and then I'll just push back. This is like a normal tab. You just push back and lift, and this will pop right out. Remember, when using a Dremel, have some kind of eye protection. Okay, with that piece moved, I'm going to take your automotive little tab puller, and just like that, easy as pie. So if you take it over and look, so I just Dremeled off this top sealant part, this melted plastic. I Dremeled it off. So now it's a nice flat area here. And to make it pop, you can see how that works. I just use this little pry tool and she's off. So extremely simple, and it really keeps the integrity of the piece intact. So now we'll go ahead and we'll just knock out the rest of them. And there we go. So that is quote unquote the toughest part as far as removing this. And now we'll go ahead and move on to removing the traditional screws. Okay, now I have all the screws removed, and we have 1, 2, 3 small tabs. These are just like little push-ins, and up she goes. This little piece here that kind of goes underneath these 2 tabs, so you just kind of pull out. So there we have it. That is the uninstall portion of this, and now we're going to go ahead and wrap these card panel inserts with this nice Plaid. Okay, next up, we are going to actually remove the OEM vinyl. And there we have it. So now we will prepare the fabric for application. Now I've cut a small section out of the fabric to make it a little bit more manageable before I trim it down further, so I can go ahead and apply it to the now naked door panel insert. And my little shortcut I'm going to execute in order to get the best chances of replicating this on the driver's door to the passenger door is I'm going to take this fabric and I'm going to line it up on this fabric over here. So this is the passenger door. You can see the grain is going up into the left, which will be towards the front of the car. This is going up into the right, which is towards the front of the car. That's what I'm aiming for. So I'm going to take this and essentially, well, literally going to lay it on top of this fabric and then cut it out and make sure the pattern matches identically. So I got a little bit excited with the install, and I actually have one door completely done. You guys tell me what you think about that, because that's what I think about that. Yeah, this is gonna go back on the car, but I'm gonna show you all how I got this, all tacked on and back together. So first and foremost, I trimmed down the pieces as you saw earlier, and then I further trimmed them down so I've got this like fish-like shape. And in order to adhere it, I used the 3M's headliner glue, and this stuff is like, it's premium. That's what you want to use because it's very forgiving and it gets tackier as time goes by, so you've got time to align things. So for me, I went with this like diagonal approach, which oddly enough, you just make it very linear on the little fish piece here, straight left to right. And when you install it, you get this gorgeous canted look. I mean, it just looks wild. It looks good. So anyway, when you do this this piece, when you apply it, instead of spraying the entire piece and trying to lay it on all at once, you can do it kind of like installing a decal. So I laid it down, the fabric onto the plastic piece first, without any glue, made sure it was lined up the exact way I wanted to, and then I folded up half of it, sprayed underneath with the headliner, folded it down, and then let that get tacky, and then I picked up the unglued side about halfway, and then sprayed more adhesive, and then laid it down, and boom, good to go. So if you've ever installed a large decal or racing stripes, things like that on your car, it's the same approach I took here. Half at a time, and then you're good. So the next step, and I won't be filming all this, it's very tedious and I need my hands, but I'm just gonna go around and just snip away, like I don't want any fabric behind these screw holes so it won't bind when I put in a screw. I'm gonna cut this away and just have these little tabs so I can spray a whole bunch of adhesive around the edges, and then I'll fold over the excess fabric, just like you can see on this one. I still got a few screws and stuff I got to put back in place, but you can see on here it's all nice and folded. You won't be able to see that from the front. From the front, you've just got gorgeous Plaid. I'll just go ahead and at least show you all how I tack down all these edges I didn't make it super pretty because I don't have to, it's gonna fold over. But here is the adhesive, headliner adhesive. Looks like there's a few different measurements you can do, a high, medium, and a low. I have no idea what that means, so I just put it in the medium setting. And let's have at it. See how tacky that stuff is. It's like a spider web going around. It's really cool. It gives you a lot of play at first, and it starts getting tackier and tackier like any glue, but this actually dries pretty quick, but stays pretty easy going. I would 100% use this if you were going to tackle this project on your own. Here we go. All right, well, I'll go ahead and keep this going. I'll see you back inside. All right, on the back of your door panel insert, you see there's 2 screws. They're going to have to go through, and they ultimately go into the armrest right here. So all I'm going to do is just take an X-Acto knife and locate where these 2 holes are, and I'm just going to puncture a little hole so that way when I put the screw in, it won't bind the fabric and undo any of the work that I've done. So that's really all it takes. I've already done it on the other one. It works great. So let's have at it. See, all the tackiness is on. So the first thing you have to do is actually slide this piece, these 2 here, I dremeled off, and you're gonna go underneath. So that's like step number 1, and you'll get these pieces lined up. Let's see if I can do that while the camera's on. Yep, well, let's give it a go. So these go under first. You're gonna have to pull up slightly on these big tabs if you're gonna have any luck getting them under there. All right. Sweet victory, it's looking pretty good. Now let's go around the horn and start putting on these little tabs. Yes, there's a lot of glue on here. It doesn't matter. Okay, voila. So now we're stuck on. Now we can start reinstalling a bunch of the screws. Okay, so now that is back all assembled. You can take a look. So that is not going anywhere. Let's see what the front looks like. And winning. No weird gaps, no tugged or bunched up fabric. That is right on the money. Right. Door cards are back on, and there is the result on the car. Looking good. Tell me what you guys think. Would you do the same? Post it up in the comments.